Welcome to the Extra Mile podcast for bar exam takers. There are no traffic jams along the Extra Mile when you're studying for your bar exam. And now, your host, Jackson Mummy.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 239 of the Extra Mile podcast for bar exam takers. This is your host, Jackson Mummy. I'm glad to have you with us. We're recording this episode before the February 2019 bar exam, but the release date is actually on one day of the test. So we hope that it was a good test for everybody. We know that some of you may be watching or listening to this on your way home or after the exam, and we hope that it went well for you. We'll talk about what we're hearing from students during the exam in later episodes of the podcast, so stick around in upcoming weeks. We'll keep you updated there, and of course, we'll keep you updated as results start to come out. That will start in early April 2019. For those of you who are getting ready to take the exam in July 2019 or sometime in 2020, welcome. We're glad you're with us. If you are just finding the podcast, we're delighted to have you here. We bring this podcast to you every week to talk about all things bar exam related. Been doing it for about 4 years now, and we provide the podcast in a couple of different formats. If you prefer the video version, just go to celebrationbarreview.com/239 for today's video version. It's just the episode number 239. And if you prefer the audio version, you can check us out and subscribe on Apple iTunes or Spotify, iHeartRadio, lots of other places. And both ways, we've got all the show notes and all the information from each episode. So glad to have you check it out in whatever format works best for you. We also have our archives on our website in the podcast tab, going all the way back to our very first episodes. And there's lots of information we've covered over the last 4 years about the bar exam. So check that out as well. Now, in today's episode, we're doing something that has become a little bit of a tradition on bar exam week. And that is that I try to do an interview with some people on our team. And this is really a special interview. The first time I've actually had multiple people on at the same time. Well, I guess a couple times I've done it, but not staff. And in today's episode, I'm actually talking to our 3 group coaching mentors, and I'm really excited. It was a great conversation. We had a lot of fun. Obviously, it's prior to the bar exam, so we don't know what's happened yet, and we're all a little amped up and excited about the tests that were coming up. But I wanted to share with you a little bit about what group coaching is, give you a chance to see and hear 3 of our different group coaches who are all successful bar takers, people who have been through Celebration Bar Review's course and now are mentoring other people. And it was really a fun conversation. We talked about a wide range of things, everything from the playlists that they make for students to the most commonly asked question in group coaching to advice for bar takers as they get ready for the exam and for new bar takers and lots of stuff. So I hope you'll stick around for that conversation. It was really an engaging roundtable. Now, as always, this week's episode is brought to you by our free live training. It's called Do Something Different, Make the Next Bar Exam Your Last Bar Exam. And this training will be available to you at Thursday night, 7 p.m. In your local jurisdiction. We're excited to bring it to you in this way so that those of you on the West Coast who've been saying, hey, Jackson, you've been doing this like at 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Well, now it's available to you at 7 p.m. Pacific time or 7 p.m. Eastern time or 7 p.m. wherever you might be. We're really excited to do it this way and to provide you with the information that will help you make the next bar exam your last bar exam. You'll hear the 4 steps that successful bar takers follow. We've got lots of case studies, lots of great information for you, all of the steps that are necessary in order to be successful. If you haven't been through this free training, I encourage you to do so. You do need to register, and you can do that very easily in the show notes on the video page or the audio page, or by going to our website at celebrationbarreview.com/webinar. So it's celebrationbarreview.com/webinar. Register for the Thursday night, 7 p.m. Training, How to Make the Next Bar Exam Your Last Bar Exam. Now, if for some reason Thursday doesn't work for you at 7 p.m., you will also see a button there for an on-demand version. You can watch every day or any day on the top of the hour. And so you just pick the time and date that works best for you. But one way or the other, I really encourage you to get in on this training. It's changed thousands of lives. I know it can be a big difference maker for a lot of people. And if you're taking the exam in July 2019 or in 2020, this is the time for you to be going through that training and to start getting everything ready to take the exam and to do something different. So I hope you'll join us for that. Be sure to check it out. Well, again, I just want to say that we know that there will be people at various stages of either finishing the exam or starting out on their studies over the next couple of weeks. As we do upcoming podcast episodes, we'll try and give you as much information about what happened in February of 2019, what was tested as far as we know, and to kind of point forward towards the July exam. So look forward to those episodes. But I think you're going to enjoy today's episode as I talk with our 3 group coaching mentors and sharing their insights and thoughts. So let's jump into that discussion. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast. And today is a very special episode for us. We get to spend time with 3 of our group coaches at Celebration Bar Review. And this is pretty cool because, well, truthfully, we've never done it. And secondly, it's kind of fun for me. I get to see 3 of my favorite people who work with our students all the time. And they have such a unique perspective on the process because not only are they group coaches and mentors, but they're former students. And you may have seen the interviews we did with them when they passed the bar. So I am really pleased to introduce you to our 3 group coaches. I'm going to start with our senior person, and that's Kelly Pilden. Kelly, how are you? I want to start with you, Kelly. We're going to bring everybody else in here in a minute, but group coaching really was the thing that you started for us, right?
Well, I can't take credit for it. I was a student of yours, and I was talking to another student one day, and we were saying how it would be so great if we could just all meet up and talk once a week. Well, I don't even know if it was once a week, but just to meet up and talk. And then when I got hired with you, we talked about that. And then we just had little group coaching sessions. I think it was once every 2 weeks. And maybe I had like 3 people and we just talked for a half an hour or an hour. And then it just kind of grew from there. It's doing pretty well. Now we have 3.
So now we've got,
that's cool.
Yeah. So we've got 2 other coaches with us. Evelyn Jimenez is with us. Hi, Evelyn. How are you?
Good, and you? How is everyone?
Oh, it's great. It's so much. This is so much fun. We were talking about the fact that you're not taking the bar exam, and
no.
So you're pretty happy now. You know?
Yes. Finally, I'm not in the stress mode for sitting for the bar, so it's super good.
Right.
But I'm all over it.
Yeah, very excited. And you've been primarily focusing on our bilingual students for group coaching. So I've got lots of questions to ask you about that. That's got to be a really different experience to be on the other side of the group coaching calls.
Yes, because that was actually the struggle that I was having. So now I'm helping people overcome the struggles that I was, that it was my personal struggle. So it's great. Just being able to convey my experience and being able to assist them and give them pointers on how to not let being a not English speaker being on your way of success and passing the bar. So it's great.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you're with us. And our third coach that's with us is Amanda Miljanovic. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm pretty excited. For those that don't know, we're recording this on the weekend before the bar exam. It'll be released on bar exam dates. So we don't know what's happened yet, but I'm going to hope that when this comes out, it'll be a nice, quiet, calm middle of the week. Everything's good, right? It feels a little different, though, doesn't it, to be on this side of the world?
I will tell you, I said to my husband today, I think it's the first February in 6 years that I have not sat for a bar exam, and I don't even know what to do with myself. But my heart, is still with all those bar takers, retakers, and first-time takers alike. And they have been heavy on my mind this February. So I know how it feels, and it feels good to be on the other side too.
Yeah. I think all 3 of you are such amazing mentors, in part because you have been on the other side. You felt the different challenges that each of you faced, but have found ways to overcome them. Amanda, what's that been like for you to watch other people kind of walk through some of those struggles that you had?
Yeah, it's actually been really rewarding. I mean, it's been eye-opening to see them go from so anxious and so nervous in December to so confident and full of themselves in a good way, not arrogant, but full of themselves, where they know that they're going to tackle this bar exam next week, and they know because of CBR that they're able to do that, and that's been really rewarding, to be honest. So.
Yeah, yeah, it's just a cool thing. Kelly, you've worked with lots of students now for I can't remember. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. Isn't that
Two
funny
or
how?
3 years. I think
Yeah,
it's been,
yeah,
since 2016.
yeah. What have you
Mhm.
seen change in the makeup of students, or the approach over the last few years? Any difference? Is it the same kind of
Photo
student?
reading is huge.
Yeah,
Photo reading was not discussed as much when I was taking it. I think it was just kind of bubbling up to the surface. So that's definitely new. I think the paraliminals help a lot. I think in the class of students I was in with you, there was much more anxiety and much more just like talking to each other, texting on the Facebook group and not posting. I think a lot of good things have happened in the past couple of years, just with the introduction of, here's the other folks. You're not unique. This is all happening to all these people, and here's a way that you can connect and talk about these things so you don't drive the people in your lives crazy.
Evelyn, is that true for you too, Evelyn?
Yes, because you're at this point that everyone is having this question: what would I do? What should I do the night before? What should I do this certain point? And I said, I'm in a position to say to them, don't worry, Jackson will send you an email that he's gonna give you detailed instructions on what to do.
Yeah.
Wait for the email, and it's not only just instructions on what to do, is where should I go? Where can I get this? So for Florida bar takers that were on my Zoom call my last one, that was a lot of the questionings. It was that kind of questions. Where can I find this? Where can I do this? Um, they weren't anxious, but not because of the bar prep. It was more, where am I going? This Twilight bar convention center for Florida. So it's great to have the experience and to be in a position to tell them what to do and what to avoid on that this week. This week is so stressful. You don't need anything else. So
Yeah.
just being in a position to give them everything that they need, it's great.
Good.
Feels great.
For any of you, or all three of you, what would you say are the most common questions that you heard in your group in the week or two before the bar exam? Any thoughts there?
Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? Am I not? Yeah. Am I not doing? Yeah. I think that's basically it. Am I doing enough? And yeah, no one had logistics questions. No one had anything. It was just with self-study. I think that's a lot of it, is that, can you just validate that I'm doing enough, right? So I think that's kind of the struggle, is that because you're not with them, you don't know, but you can tell them, like, if you're doing enough. Like, that's not a question for me, it's a question for you. Just follow the study guide. If you've completed the study guide, you're good. We think you have, done it. But I think those are the harder questions, because you're not there. You don't know. But I think it's helpful to have other people on the call too, to validate them and saying, oh, well, it sounds like you've done maybe the same as me, and I think I did enough this week, or, vice versa. So yeah, I think it's interesting.
And I think they're all in such if they've had a previous big box bar review before, I think they're all in this panic mode on, week, 2 weeks before the bar exam, to where they have been taught that you have to cram all this stuff in at the very last second, or it's all going to fall out. And so I use this analogy with some of my group bar coaching students 2 weeks ago. And someone was like, I just can't focus on what I need to be doing and what have you. And she said, I just can't even understand what's on the page. And I said, well, have you taken a break, just like a mental break for a half day or a whole day, this whole session? And she had not. And I said, so what are you afraid of? And she said, I'm afraid that I'm going to get to the bar exam, and because I took that 1 half day off, I'm not going to be able to remember anything. And I said, okay, so how about this? One of our other bar students said, if you're too sleepy, would you keep driving your car? She said, no. I said, okay, so if you're too sleepy, you would pull over your car and you'd sleep. And the next morning you get back up, you get back in your car and you keep on driving. I said, now, would you get back up the next morning and forget how to operate your car? She said, no. I said, okay, then if you take a half day off because you can't comprehend anything on the pages, then you're not going to forget everything you've learned since December. And I think that's the thing, is managing expectations. And I think that the group study and coaching or the group coaching really helps with that, because they're so used, if they've taken another bar exam, they're so used to that they really struggle with, am I doing enough? Should I be doing 14-hour days? And, then we get to the point of exhaustion and all of that 2 weeks before the bar exam. But I think Kelly's completely right that they just need a validation, and other students are all, if one has a question, they all do. And that's what a lot of people that don't tune into the group coaching session, they're alone and thinking about it in their own head. Somebody else has the same question. So that's been a really eye-opening experience for the rest of the students.
And Amanda, that was actually me. I was the one believing, like, you guys were saying, you have to take a break, go for a walk. And I was like, no way. There's no way I'm going to go anywhere. I need to be attached to my book. Until I suffered myself. I was in bed 2 months after the bar because I wasn't a believer. You need to listen to your body, to your brain. If you're not learning anymore, you have to take a break. And that was something that I was pressing on, because at some point they were happy with the job, the practices they were doing, but everything around them were not maybe on the position that they wanted to. Just take a break, and that half an hour or that half day, like you say, it's going to reward you next time you sit and do more work. You're going to see a difference on the quality of your work. So that's something that I encourage, and that's something that they need to be a believer, not be like me, but be a believer and do it, because it's really great. The day before the exam, I always try to study, and all of a sudden I said, like, I need to believe in this and don't be cramming at the last minute. So I didn't do it, and it works. So
yeah, I think that's wonderful. When somebody comes into group coaching for the first time, and obviously for a lot of our listeners, they may not know what we mean by group coaching, so we probably should define that a little bit. I think that group coaching is often a structure for us of saying that what we want to do here is give people an opportunity to talk to one another, to get some input and some advice and some suggestions. But we also want them to have the chance to have a little bit of guidance, no matter what course they're in. So whether they're getting personal coaching or not, this is an opportunity for group coaching. When somebody first comes into group coaching, what is it that you try to tell them that's most important for them to get out of the group coaching experience?
Oh, well, I think it's really important for them to understand that the first session, they don't have to talk at all. They don't want to. I mean, I think that I tell them just to kind of listen and see how it goes. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And then I generally kind of guide it if there's 1 or 2 new people, because if we have some people that have been in the group for a while, they're talking about photo reading and mind mapping and paraliminals and all these things. And for a new person, they have no idea what they're talking about. So I kind of go step by step. Okay, well, photo reading is something that we give as an option for students, as a supplement to studying, and as a part of photo reading, blah, 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 go through it. Because you forget, you're used to all the lingo, this, but someone coming in for the first time, I feel like I make sure that they're not feeling overwhelmed. and to let them know they're all in different jurisdictions. So if someone's talking about this, then doesn't necessarily mean they're behind because they're in another state, most likely. So those are the things I kind of watch out for, but it's just mostly, I think it's just about study strategy, stress management, and accountability. And that's kind of what I stress to them is you don't have to prepare anything to come into group coaching, just kind of come and we moderate. You know, I feel like that's our main role. I hate the sessions where they just are staring at me and they want me to kind of just talk to them the whole time because it's for them, you know, it's for them to talk to each other. So I think the best sessions are when they actually just talk to each other.
And also when I had a couple of sessions that they don't talk, but it's good. It's, you know, where they are even in the messages, emails that Jackson sends weekly, or now that they are daily, you know where they are, because at some point I was like, is Jackson in my mind? This email is perfect for what I'm feeling and what I need to hear. And it was funny because the next day I was forwarding the same email to a couple of students like, hey, remember we were talking about this? Look at Jackson's email. This is something you should pay attention to. And even though they don't say what it's on their mind, you know in which position they are. And as soon as you lead them, it's like they see that they are not the only ones in that position, and that there's maybe they feel that they are the only ones, and all of a sudden it turns out it's not only me. There's more people in this experience having this problem or these questions, these doubts. So that's why group coachings are so good. You can feel and find someone that is on the same struggles that you are. So it's a big help.
And I really agree to that point that group coaching is so important because everybody sees that struggle is not unique. You know, that someone else is having that high anxiety. Someone else is having, can't just grasp the rule of perpetuity or whatever it is. They're having that same struggle. So it's just a validation, I think. And I structure my calls. What I do now, I've kind of developed a little bit of a routine, and I will start with a win. And so my students tell me a win. So it can be a big win. It can be a small win. And so it just gets you off on a positive note. And I want them to see that even though they feel like, you know, the rest of the world is continuing to keep on moving while they're stuck in this bar bubble, that they've done something good for that week. So you've had a small win. Sometimes, you know, it's sleeping 7 hours a night. Sometimes it's photo reading finally clicking. And it can be totally not about the bar. You know, sometimes it's they told their boss, no, they can only work 40 hours this week. So we celebrate those. Everybody goes around with a small win. And then I end my call with a goal for the week. And that one is bar study oriented and related. So we end by going around and, you know, saying whatever our goal is, that session for the next week, so they can meet on the next Thursday. And it's really cool because a lot of people's goals will coincide. And some people, you know, I don't ask them to repair anything, but they know if they've been on my group coaching that that's what I'm going to ask the next week. And some people will say, no, I didn't have a win this week. I'm like, okay, let's think about it. You did have a win this week. What is it? It can be really small. You know, you got to work on time every day. You fed your kids at 6 o'clock every night, you know, so it can be anything. And so that has really, it's been cool to see just other people just being positive, you know?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think one of the things that I was interested in is that you guys all did weekly challenges with your group coaching students, and I think, Kelly, you set it up so that everybody had a responsibility each week to do a weekly challenge. You want to talk a little bit about those challenges and how you set those up?
I'll let the ladies talk about theirs. They were the creative ones.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Evelyn, you had a great one, I know.
I was the first one. I was doing paraliminal challenge. They were asking for it. They were remembering how you did a couple of years ago, and it was kind of different because instead of being doing and repeating more of them, it was one different one daily. And it was, I accompanied with a message or a story or something funny. Even though it got me even reading the instructions of the paraliminal. But it was good. It was interesting. Seeing how I prepared kind of from getting back from the lowest point that you could feel yourself and getting you to the mood of wanting to sit to study. That was my strategy on my challenge. It was more getting you ready. It was like a month ago, just
Mhm.
3-4 weeks ago, just short to the bar. So it was just a time for you to get ready to give all you have. This was the time to finish and finish strong. So that was my challenge. That was my idea on trying to get them on a
Yeah.
position to finish.
Yeah, it was great because everybody got to do you gave them a paraliminal recording to listen to, a different one every day, and they posted on the Facebook group how they were doing with it and what they were getting out of it. It was a lot of fun to watch and see what people were doing and see which ones that, what was working and not working. And again, for those of you that don't know what paraliminals are, they're audio recordings that are designed to deal with certain issues or roadblocks in your brain, and they're incredibly powerful. They're a tool that we've seen make a big difference, and I know for all three of you, they were very powerful things. So that was one of the challenges. Amanda, you had another challenge that you did, right?
Yeah, I did a self-care and self-affirmation challenge. So I know that me and you have talked about, Jackson, in my interview with you. A big thing for me taking the bar 9 times was my confidence. So, right, the self-affirmations were a huge thing for me. So what a lot of people may not know is that CBR does a pretty all-inclusive approach, I guess is a good way to put it. We, focus on your studies as well as kind of your mind and doing a little different tactics, something you've never done before, right? And so the self-affirmations were huge for me, the ones that you had posted, and I tweaked them for myself. It says, I am a first-time bar taker, if you are, a first time. And the ones that say, I see my name on the South Carolina pass list, different things like that. So I took that and just kind of broadened it. I made a whole affirmation about that day. And then I built up on Tuesday would be another affirmation about it was really short ones. I wish I could pull one up right now, but just short ones about I am worthy, I'm smart, those things. And I wanted people to actually say them in the mirror and look at themselves. And I know it sounds so crazy to do that at first, but it boosted me. I had the affirmations all over my house.
I remember you posted it and you said, put stickers on your bathroom mirror, put them on your door jambs, put them everywhere, right?
Yeah. And then we focused on one thing a day that the bar taker could do for 30 minutes. That was just for them, whether that was sitting and reading a book that's not bar related, or going to get your nails painted, or just sitting in silence. Whatever it was for 30 minutes, just do something for you to kind of get your mind back to a place where you know that you can do this. And that's why it kind of went along with the affirmations.
Yeah. I was getting to do them too. I was pretty excited. Did you have any challenges that you ran this time?
I did some kind of in the middle, and then at the end. The last one I posted was a sleep challenge, which I think is really important for the last week or so. And then a couple of weeks before we did them all together, did like a workout challenge, just kind of exercise, self-care, what Amanda was talking about. Because people kind of tend to forget about that. And there's so many good chemicals that go through your body when you're working out that you need to kind of get that stress down. So I think that both of those, just health-wise, I think what Amanda was saying, we have a holistic approach. So group coaching kind of helps us with mind-body kind of connection and how to manage that fear and stress and anxiety going into the test.
Yeah. And you did something else that's become very popular, and that is your playlists. And Amanda and I have done some, but your playlists seem to be like the ones that everybody gets very excited about. You want to talk about that a little bit? Asking me playlist. I'm like, I'm an old man. What do I know from playlists? I still.
This came into creation, I think maybe a little towards the beginning. When I started it, and I would have the students pick the song. And so then when I had compilated a bunch of them, I just decided to put them on a Spotify playlist. So, because again, I would use them when I was working out and all of that. I was just like, I just want kind of inspiring music to listen to and to get pumped up as kind of pre-paraliminal. And so put these all together. It's in a compilation. So it's on Spotify. So they're student songs, that I posted right after the group coaching session. And then I added some. I went through and added some that Amanda has posted for her students. She had done a couple. It's just great. Yeah, if you're on the plane or driving to the exam or something, you don't want to listen to anything, just want to chill or dance or just have fun. I think that the playlist is really good. I actually still kind of listen to it if I'm at the gym, just for go, go, go.
Well, I got to ask.
Fun.
Yeah, I'll ask all three of you. What's your favorite song on the playlist?
That's hard.
I love anything by Sia. Sia is like my go-to for if I want to feel amazing. So it's like The Greatest. I think The Greatest is the greatest song on the playlist.
Okay.
I don't have a favorite. That's hard.
Yeah.
I like them. It's the mood that they make you go into. It's just, you need to have that happy moment. And for me, I just feel that I need to get up, dance, and jump and scream and do something different than being seated in front of the book passing pages. So
yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I don't know now that you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
But I think I probably posted some Eminem ones, or maybe I didn't, just in case they were a little bit explicit. But Eminem always got me real pumped up. Lose Yourself. Pharrell, I think I posted Happy, by Pharrell, because it's such a fun song. There's nothing you can be doing, I think, in life and not listen to an upbeat song like Happy and not just smile at least, right? And so I think that's the goal of a lot of these songs, is to just bring you back down to, you can be anxious, you can be mad, you can be sad, and it just will at least get you for a second, with that smile on your face. So
yeah.
And the song is gonna be on your mind the whole day, so you're gonna be in the good mood the whole day, and you're gonna be dancing and singing that song. So it's not just playing it once. It's going to be in your brain the whole day until you hit another one. It's good. Feels good.
Yeah.
We have the happiest group.
Amanda, I had added High Hopes. Amanda had put in High Hopes.
Oh, I love that one. I love that song.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say Let It Go.
I don't even think I don't know if that's on the playlist.
How can that not be? Okay, fine.
I'll check.
Okay.
I posted a couple of Disney songs for you, Jackson. Come on.
I know. Yeah.
There's Moana. We have Moana on there. I love that song.
Okay. So as we're kind of wrapping up in this weekend before the bar, what's it like for you now as coaches, knowing that you've worked with folks and you've all been through this? And one of the reasons you're such great coaches is because of your empathy. What is it like now to know that sort of you're sending those folks out, they're taking the exam? You want to just share a little bit about what that feels like from this end?
It causes me some anxiety because I'm so invested in their success. And so for you guys just out there in the world, and also for you too, I remember being very invested in you guys being successful as well. So it's very cool to see the evolution of it, and just really hope that you've given this student everything that they need in order to be successful, and that they've done the academic work, but I've helped them kind of get their mind right. So that's just what I think about it. And during the exam day, especially when I was living overseas, I was so far ahead in time. I'd have to wait forever for the exam to start. And now this time I get to be back in the States and actually be in real time and be able to keep up with people. But it's exciting.
It's gut-wrenching, isn't it? And
it's really hard.
These two haven't even gotten to results weeks yet. As bad as this is, wait till we get to the results. Yeah. So Evelyn or Amanda, what are your thoughts going into this?
Well, it's how you feel. You see their progress. It's how you know that they were struggling and they were having so much doubts, and all of a sudden, the last Zoom, everyone is calm, relaxed, and they're like, I am ready. I want this to be over. I feel ready. I need to take this bar because I'm going to pass. It's the mental attitude there in the last one. It was great. I think I was never that confident, so that's good to have them in that position. And even though when I have one one student specifically that was not in that position, just making a random call during the week, just, hey, how are you? How checking on them feels great. Feels like you're doing what you needed someone to do for you.
Yeah.
It feels great. Feels amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm really excited. I'm excited to hear all the results because I just know that there are going to be so many passing results. I'm really excited. A lot of people changed up what they were doing this time, to come over to CBR or even do more than what they were doing the last time. And so I'm just really excited to see all of their fruits of that labor come to fruition. And I'm just, I don't know. My heart's heavy this week. It's a different kind of anxiety, and you can be spiritual or not, but I am spiritual, and so I pray for all of them. I send good vibes out for all of them, and kind of gets me just choked up thinking about it a little bit. But every morning, they're the first thing on my mind, and so I'm really excited. I'm excited for them to be sitting in the seats that we all sit now, and to be, colleagues of the bar. So I'm just excited for them.
Yeah, I am. I just want to say that there's kind of a proud papa part of me, in part because you're also young. But I've watched all three of you grow through the process of being students. I've watched your challenges. We've had some tearful conversations, all three of us. Or we've had some moments, and then I've seen you blossom and get through the exams and the joy that that's brought and the opportunity, and to see how you guys have developed into coaches and teachers and mentors and the amazing gifts that you spread to our students. I mean, folks, if you're in a big box bar review and you're out there struggling on your own, I got to tell you, there is a different way to do this, and you may not believe it, but there is a way to get some people behind you and with you and helpful. And these three individuals are a big part of that. Our whole team. I mean, we have a resident fairy godmother. I heard she was on a group coaching call today.
She was on group coaching.
Yeah. So we've got this wonderful staff of people across really across the country and across the world who help us. But I am extraordinarily proud and appreciative of the work that the three of you do, because you're really the front lines to our students, both in the Facebook group and in the group coaching calls and in all the steps that you do to mentor and follow up with people. And, we've taken as a mission here that we want to help give people their lives back. And I would have to say, from my perspective, as I look at the three of you, you've got your lives back in very different ways. But, I can remember some moments when I think each of you were like, whoa, man, this is not good. Right. And so here we are. Yeah. So I really appreciate it. And I know that our students appreciate it. I know people listening or watching are going to be like, whoa, that's kind of different stuff, Any final thoughts you want to share with folks? I mean, this episode's going to release while the exam's going on. We'll probably have some people watching and listening on their way home from the exams. And of course, people getting ready for July 2019 and beyond. But just wrapping up, any final thoughts anybody wants to share?
I think just come join us. Come join us in group coaching. Come join us at CBR. It's a great community, very tight knit. I think extremely supportive, and yeah, it's all of the good parts about being accountable and talking to people who have been through this process before or are going through the process at the exact same time as you are. And I think it's just a different experience. I think the holistic approach is something that we have a corner on that market, right? We are the only ones that are doing this. So yeah, come hang out with us.
And having the opportunity of having people right there during the week. We are spread during the week. So every time you're gonna, if you feel that you need someone, we are going to be there. So just check which one is the one call that is good for you. Mine is especially bilinguals, but even though if I have someone that cannot join the other calls, we're gonna be there for you. So every time of the week that you need someone, we will be there.
Yeah, and you can bring your dog too.
Yeah, that was my reward for passing the bar. And
okay.
I'm so happy.
I got my dog back. Okay.
I'm telling you, my Great Danes have made a few appearances. I have 2, and they will pop their head in right here and there. But I would have to say, if you're not a part of CBR now, and you've been taking the bar exam, or you've never taken it, there's a different way. There's a different way to do things. There's a different way to study so that you don't feel like you've lost all control in your mind and that you're exhausted by the time you walk into those doors, that you can't even function. I mean, I've been there. I personally, you guys can Google me. I have taken every bar review physically out there. You name it, I have taken them. And this was the only one that was different from the rest. All of the others have different names. It's the same stuff. I never had a personal mentor or group coaching ever like this, even from my own law school, right? I mean, someone would check in every few weeks and just be like, hey, are you doing your syllabus? So if you want a different way and you want support and you want a little bit of accountability, this is the way to go. And for all of our students out there that may be listening to this on the way home, we know that you rocked it, and it's time to go home and get some sleep.
Yes, go rest.
Yeah, sleep is good. Sleep is good. Well, listen, thank you all. We're going to have to do this more often. This is like the most fun I've had on a podcast in forever. So,
thanks.
You so much.
Thanks,
Okay,
Jackson.
all right, fine. Well, Kelly's, yeah. Maybe what we should do is,
yours, Kelly.
Yeah, maybe we should get you guys on the Q&A webinar. This could be fun, don't you think, Kelly? We could do more people on the Q&A. I'm thinking maybe that's a thought. But thank you all for everything you've done. And, we'll definitely get back together as results start to come out, and maybe we'll do another podcast this way. But great having you all here. Appreciate you taking the time out. Appreciate all that you do. And I know our students send out I get more positive feedback. I share this on the Q&A all the time. When I do interviews with people after they've passed, I say, so you really love the lectures and the intellectual rigor and the writing side. And they go, yeah, that's all good, but it's group coaching, man. That's what made it work.
I was going to say, and then Kelly, because he was doing ours.
It's like, really? Everybody comes to me and goes, yeah, that Kelly person, yeah, she's really good. And I'm like, what, am I chopped chicken? Oh, anyway, so there you go.
I get to do all the fun stuff. I get to do all the fun stuff.
Yeah, well, Kelly has to put up with me every week on the Q&A, and that's pretty tough. Listen, again, it's great to see all of you. Go get some rest. I know you've all worked hard. We're going to take a little bit of time off for group coaching. We'll fire it back up again. And for those of you that aren't enrolled in the course, we hope you'll join us. Group coaching is open to all of our students. It's a part of every course. There's no extra fee. There's nothing else. It's just something that we want to do because we know it makes a difference. So hope everybody that was at the exam had a great exam. I echo all these comments about the fact that you rocked it and it was great. And if you are taking the exam in 2019 or 2020, we'll look forward to having you here on the podcast and with us, and hopefully in group coaching soon. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks, everybody. It's been great having you here. To Kelly Kildam, Evelyn Jimenez, Amanda Miljanovic. Boy, all those names that are so hard to say because you all keep
you got them all right.
See, sometimes even an old guy like me can figure it out. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, it was a fun discussion, and I want to thank Kelly and Evelyn and Amanda. They do a great job with our students, and they are just delightful people, as you see, and very, very committed and very engaged and involved in the success of our students. So it's always fun to see. Again, just want to remind everybody before we finish up today that there is free training on Thursday, 7 p.m. local time. Do something different. Make the next bar exam your last bar exam. Register on the show notes link or by going to celebrationbarreview.com/webinar, and we'll see you Thursday at 7 p.m. And for everybody else, we'll check you out along the extra mile next week as we bring you the early reports from the bar exams of February 2019. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Extra Mile podcast for bar exam takers at www.celebrationbarreview.com.